Hey, Redcasters, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos. Go Big Red. You hit a great point, and let's move on to tight ends here. And this is a whole different group here that can be a role in both the run game and the pass game. I loved having tight ends be such an involvement in the offense for years under Osborne. Fullbacks too, guys that could be differentiators. Not every offense would have them. Some teams were 5 wide receiver sets all the time, like Florida. No, tight ends give you a different. We have Thomas Fedone, a sophomore. He's been here 3 years, but mostly injury riddled. 6'6", 50. Eric Gilbert, the sophomore, the transfer from Georgia, 6'5", 275. Don't know yet his eligibility status. Didn't sound great according to Rule a couple days ago, but we don't know yet. Nate Borkercher. This is why you don't get rid of the walk-on program, people. Damn. Sophomore, 6'5", 245. Very well could be the starter. Jake Applegate, redshirt freshman, 6'4", 235. He's put on some good weight there. Janarian Bonner, there he is, redshirt freshman, 6'3", 220. And he can be a completely different style tight end. I think in that Chancellor Brewington kind of mold where you could be doing crack blocks and stuff with them. And then Ismail Smith-Flores, 6'4", 225 freshman. I'll start with you, Jared. Right away, I guess I don't even know if this matters. Maybe the same way with the running back one. Do we have a bell cow at tight end? Do we have a starter? Does it matter? Or who do you think will be, I guess, tight end 1, tight end 2?
Well, you look at that list. Fedone, we don't need to be, that horse has been dead, right?
Yeah.
Hasn't played. We joked about it on the boat. We said he looked like the 10-man during the spring game. Didn't look great. Now a lot of time has passed, and maybe they wanted him to be cautious during the spring game. Looks better in those videos, right?
Mm-hmm.
Eric Gilbert, I don't see the waiver. Don't see the waiver coming. Every time Matt Rule talks about it, he gets pissed off.
Yeah.
Like I think he knows something that we don't. And there's something about Georgia. Maybe they did something not great on their end
where they have to take responsibility for something.
Yeah. What? And their program is although they win, they are going through some things off the field. Nate Borkercher, I think you are right. I think he is the guy. Ideally, is that what you want? No, it's not. However, he caught a touchdown pass against North Dakota. That's cool. But, God, Fedone, please, man. Please, Fedone. Please. Like, he came to Nebraska, and he was kind of sold as he'll take the top off. He's a threat, right? Mm-hmm. I don't anticipate Eric Gilbert playing, so I need Fedone. Give me Fedone. I crave Fedone.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm being weird about it.
Sounds like some weird Italian dish.
I need some Fedone. Fedone. Listen, this room needs to be good. If this room is not good, this team, we can talk about the O-line, but this team will not be good.
Well, we talked about Satterfield before we even started the show. Mike, I mean, Satterfield, that's a staple of the offense that he wants to have his tight ends. From day one, he talked about tight ends being a part of this.
Right.
Do you have, what are your biggest concerns? What are your biggest optimistic points when you look at this group?
I mean, I'm kind of in the same boat where I don't think Gilbert's going to play, which is unfortunate because if you look at his size, 275, he's damn near a tackle.
Is that right? Is that 275 correct?
Yeah, and it was up from it was like 260 in the spring. And I just updated the graphic today.
He's a big boy. To me, it's all going to come down to if Fedone can stay healthy, I think the tight end room could look very good in the receiving end, but I don't think he's your blocker guy. I think Nate Borkercher is going to be the guy that's going to go out there on those 3rd and 3s or 3rd and 2s, and you're going to need to do a power run and go get that first down. Nate is going to be the guy that's going to be on the edge blocking. So, yeah, this room is very important. If you look right under Nate, there's a lot of question marks. And with no Eric, it gets very thin very quickly. So, I don't know. I don't have, huge expectations. I think it all depends on if Thomas Fedone stays healthy. So,
well, in Borkercher, as opposed to the wide receivers where we named a couple walk-ons that we didn't even have listed.
Yeah.
We don't really have a walk-on right off the bat that we would add to this list if there's an injury. The walk-on's Borkercher, and who is now a scholarship player. I agree with you that I think Borkercher would probably get the most snaps. I guess maybe that's even a question is which tight end gets the most snaps by the end of the year, because who really cares who's tight end 1 or tight end 2? It's more who's the guy that's going to be playing. And Borkercher seems to be the guy that in all situations, whether it's a run situation, a pass situation, you're expecting him out there. Fedoni, hopefully, I hope he's an outstanding blocker. I hope he's an All-American blocker.
Mackey boy, Mackey. Everything's Mackey. Every time you interview Thomas Fedoni, he talks about the Mackey. So please live up to those expectations.
Be a Mackey blocker. Connor, do you have any thoughts here?
So Mike talks about Fedoni being that pass catcher, trying to get him into that role. I actually am the exact opposite. I think Borkacher is probably going to have to be that pass catching guy. Again, we talked about Fedoni looking like the Tin Man in these videos we've seen recently. I think
Tin Man being just not real fluid.
yeah,
Right.
Wonky.
a little bit slow. Like things still look a little bit rough. I think it'll be easier, not easy, but easier to get Fedoni into that blocking role. I know that's not why he came here. I know that's not what he wants to do. But everything we've seen out of this guy through two ACL injuries, was it an ACL, MCL, or two ACLs?
I think 2 ACL.
Yeah, two ACL injuries. This kid has not wavered. He wants to be a part of this program. I think wherever they put him, he's going to be happy. And I think putting him in that blocking role, especially with that size, is probably where I see him being most effective.
Dave?
I think.
Oh, yeah, I was
No,
going
I
to give
think
you a final note here, Dave, so you go.
I was just saying that the video of Fedoni is probably just a big ruse, a cunning attempt to trick us, right? He's actually probably completely healthy. He's going to be super dynamic, and they're just making him look slow on the video, so we don't know what's going to happen.
Dave, when we used to coach back in the Elks days, Elks midget
They're just
football,
hiding him.
yeah, we would do tight end reverses back in the old youth
That's
football
right.
coaching days, and they maybe that can be something that Fedoni can be. But
with Gilbert, if I'll be positive for a second, I completely understand our skepticism. It feels like if it was an open and shut case, they would have already given it to Gilbert. But I know there's been other two-time transfer players that have already gotten denied. So if you want to try to be on the positive spin, is like if they denied players for other programs already, why didn't they deny them here, right? So there's something still going on there. And I had heard from others that that George is not the hang up. It's something else going on there. So I'm going to hold out hope that Gilbert ultimately is eligible, but it's still maybe a long shot.
I'm just going to blame the SEC because I think that's fair.
He did play for like 3 SEC programs. It's pretty amazing.
On Schmitty's show the other day too, he said something about that it could be that maybe they did get something back from them on that, and that there's an appeal process going on as well. So that could be the case as well, Dave. So they might have already heard that.